And we have a producer and an assistant producer in the chat room on the chat board, and one of them suggested that I asked you if you could help me get on The Biggest Loser. Would that be possible? I have a lot of weight to lose.
Well, you know, it's really hard. No one can recommend someone to get on there, but it's like, I don't know how far it will go. But the thing about The Biggest Loser is that you have your own story to tell. And it varies from season to season, as you can tell, having watched it. So my recommendation to you about getting on The Biggest Loser is to really be yourself and to tell your story and why. Be very, very focused about why you want to lose weight, because they'll look at that, and to be very honest about it, because a lot of times they're looking for there are a variety of different things and different folks, and if you fall into that category which they're looking for, then it would be helpful, obviously, but, you know, not knowing what they're looking for at any given season. But whenever anyone asks me about, you know, how does one get on it, it's, you know, it's, there's no rhyme or reason. It's just whatever they're thinking, and I don't really know what they're, what they're going to do next season.
So you say that you would, you got chosen because you were honest, because your story touched something that they were working on that year, or was there more to it?
Yeah, that's my thought. I mean, they never told me specifically why they chose me, but that is just my thought process and the reason why when I saw everybody else that was chosen as well.
Oh, good. Okay,
so
I'd like to take a little second here to welcome everybody who's listening on Blog TV, Stick'em, RCRM, Now Live, My RX for Living. We simulcast in several different places, so we have lots of people listening. And I just want to welcome everybody who's listening. And if you have any questions for Wiley, give us a call at 310-984-7600. Plug in the number 2, and then the code 226-305 to go live with us. And you can talk to us directly. Also, you can come to our live chat room at realcoachingradio.com and on the interactive chat board. So I was going to ask you what process you went through to get on The Biggest Loser. When did you know you were selected? How did you feel? What expectations did you have? And were your expectations realized?
Well, you know, my expectations were went beyond what I ever expected. You know, when I started out, the reason why I wanted to go on The Biggest Loser is because I needed that extra push. I think that we often think, you know, get a kickstart, then we'll be able to kind of manage our life, and the reason why we're where we are in our lives. I was turning 40 just a few months before I was cast. Actually, no, I turned 40 when I was being selected. And I said to myself, I really need to figure this out because I don't want to die early. And maybe that's because I was very honest about that. Maybe that's why they chose me. But I was very honest about the fact that, you know, I had high blood pressure. I was on the cusp of having diabetes. And I had, you know, I was on a downward spiral. And I was very open about it. And I expressed the fact that, you know, I wanted to live, and I had a lot of things that I wanted to do before I died, and I didn't want to die at an early age because both my mother and brother have type 2 diabetes, and so that was the catalyst to say, I can't take this anymore, and I need to do something, I need to change, and I need to have a better quality of life.
Right, and so did your blood pressure go down when you were, you know, if you went through the regimen and your diabetes and all that? How?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in the danger of having adult diabetes anymore, and my blood pressure, I was on the show for a month, and I was taken off medication, which was amazing.
Oh, so you were on medication. Wow.
Yeah, and I had just started the medication just when I went on the show. So it's interesting that, you know, I got off it right away. And the process for me was very weird because it was very, very quick to get on the show, because it happened, it was February 27th that I went to the open call in Los Angeles. I happened to be in LA for work, and about a week or so ago, before that, a couple of weeks before my scheduled trip, I was talking to a friend who was saying, a couple of our other friends who were trying out for The Biggest Loser in Orlando where we live in, in Florida. And I was like, oh, I've always wanted to try out for that show. It would be so, it's meant for me. This is a show for me. This is my fit. And I wasn't able to go to Orlando because when I found out about it, it had already taken place. But I went online and I went to NBC and I saw that they were having their last audition for open casting for the season, February 27th. And weirdly enough, I had a trip planned for that week, and I went to the open casting, and it just happened like quickly. I went into the casting. Then 2 days later, I was leaving to go back to Miami, and the night before I was leaving, they said, "Can you come in? We want to put you on tape." I went in. They called me a couple of days later. "Can you send us some pictures?" And it was this whole whirlwind thing. And like a month later, it was February 27th, and I was in LA April 7th for the final selection. And on the 17th, I was chosen on the show.
Wow. So you didn't have much time to get nervous or worry or plan or anything. So did it disrupt your